There was once a king who was really powerful and had a huge influence on all the animals of the kingdom. One of the wisest animals was the tortoise. The king had a son, the prince. The prince had 50 wives, but he didn't love any of those wives, so the king made a new law that whoever had a finer daughter than any of the prince's wives, the father, the mother, and the daughter would all die. The wise tortoise knew that he had a fine daughter. Her name was Adet. So the mother told him that they should leave the kingdom and go live in another place. But the tortoise said no, we'll stay here and hide Adet. One day the tortoise left with his wife to the farm so they can work on it and left Adet behind at home. The same day, the prince was hunting beside their home. So the prince saw a bird. The bird was right above the tortoise's house. So the prince shot the bird and the bird fell inside the fence. He went inside to collect the bird and he saw Adet. The moment he saw her, he fell in love with her and agreed to marry him. So the prince went back home and told his mother about the news. So the mother was so happy and kept giving the tortoise's family food, clothes, and money so they won't marry Adet off to anyone else. 5 years later, the prince went to the wise tortoise's house and told him that he wants to marry Adet. So the tortoise agreed that they should get married, and the prince went home and told his mother about the news that he will get married. But at the same time, he went to the king and finally told him that he wants to marry Adet. The king got really angry and made all the people meet at the marketplace at a certain time. When everyone met at the marketplace, the king and queen sat on their stones and ordered Adet to come in front of them. Once the king saw Adet, he was astonished of how beautiful she was. So he cancelled the law and made Adet marry his son. He made a huge feast that lasted 50 days and gave wine to everyone in the kingdom. So years later, after everyone lived happily ever after, the king died and the prince became the new king, making Adet the queen. When the prince became the new king, the prince kept giving the tortoise a lot of food and clothes and money, making the wise tortoise one of the richest men in the kingdom. At the end, we can see how wise the tortoise is. In this story, the moral code is that always have a pretty daughter, for then they might marry the king's son, which will give you great wealth.